Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M44, the Tier 6 American SPG. It's located on the north spawn of El Halluf and it's under the command of ProvoBob. Now he's just waiting for the countdown to finish. Battle starts. Okay. Well, it's a 155mm howitzer mounted in a swivel bracket on top of a Walker Bulldog chassis. Yep, it's probably the best Arty in the game, or at least many people think it's the best Arty because it's got such a phenomenal fire rate. He can fire around every 16 seconds, and if he can get a penetration, he can do 550 alpha, penetrating 39mm of armor with a burst radius of 7 meters. And that's quite a lot. But the best thing about this Arty is probably that swivel bracket, because it means you can shoot over a very wide arc of fire and not have any reticule bloom. When he fires right into that bush, that's one of the bushes where the tank destroyers normally go on the other side of the battlefield. And I'm not sure if there was a TD there, but if there was, he probably did get splashed by that one. He's waiting for another target to come into view. There's another spotting bush there. That's another favourite spot. In fact, there's another one on a bush that's above the rise. That's also where tanks tend to go. But there is an enemy in the middle. It's a T-52 and he got spotted in the centre and he's pulling away. Oh, he just got hit. And he lost some hit points and he slowed down. So I suspect he got hit in the engine. Either that or he lost his driver suddenly. Unfortunately, ProvoBob's shot didn't do any damage. And there he is. He's back again. He's gone straight back to his bush, but he went back too early because he was seen. Okay, heavy tank number 6 poking around that corner, getting some shots in. He aims at the engine deck and he hits it. 212 hit points of damage there. Okay, now we can see a number of enemy tanks, a T-50, a P-43, and of course that T-52 in the center. He's going for the P-43. Rounds out. And, oh, he didn't get the kill there and he didn't get any damage. It looks like a T-3485M got the shot in just before ProvoBob's shell landed. So, unfortunately, he lost the chance to get a kill. But up on this corner, well, got an ARL-44 and a Type T-34, the Chinese version. And he's dialing in, rounds out, and splashes in for 100 hit points. And he's now changing position. Unfortunately, we just lost one of our Artys during the initial stages of this battle. He was in a bishop and he got taken out of the game. Was he a bishop? No, it's yes, he was a bishop. That's right. Not a very practiced player. Firing for the T-50. Nothing up there, so I think he's moved on. Okay, going back to this corner, that Type T-34 went around the corner to avoid being damaged, and he's been badly damaged now. He's coming back. Rounds out. Zips in, but it hits the wall instead of the Type T-34, who gets derped by the KV-2. Okay, we're one tank down on the enemy at the moment, but still early stages in the battle. A Panzer III-4 was seen sitting around that corner, but the heavy tank number 6 has actually moved into the centre now. So ProvoBob's going to go for another shot. Fires around in. That hit the building, but it did stun the heavy tank number 6. And the ELC has gone down there. He's trying to line up a shot, but he's so close to the edge of that valley that, or so far away, it's difficult to loop his shell over. He fires at the heavy tank and only stuns him. ELC was going to come around the corner with his 90mm gun and take him out, but never happened. Now, over on this side of the battlefield, we're still one tank down, but there's supposedly an M10 RBFM around that spot. And he fired around him, but I'm not sure he was there. ProvoBob's relocating again to avoid counter battery. There's 2 Arty on the enemy team, a Gorilla and an M44. Well, the heavy on the other side of the battlefield, we've got a KV-1S and a KV-2 making their way down from the northwest corner after they won the battle there. But we've still got a VK3601H on this side of the battlefield, and he hasn't moved across. ProvoBob's trying to sort of like give him a nudge on by pinging him to go across the battlefield. Okay, well, the enemy just lost their Stug 3G, taken out by our Stug 3G, and he fired around at that T50, and no, he didn't move into position, so missed that target. And ProvoBob's gone back to pinging him and trying to indicate where he wants him to go. And it looks like he is moving now. Fires around in at this corner and hits the rock face. And we're waiting for the KV-1S and the KV-2 to find something to kill. Supposedly there's a Panzer III-4 in that vicinity. Oh, and we just fired, and the T1 Heavy's come into sight, and he's just fired around at our KV-2, and well, the KV-2 has been taken out by a Gorilla. And we just lost our KV-1S as well, so we've lost the heavy tanks on that side of the battlefield, but we did get a hit in the T1 Heavy for 227 and some stun assist as well. Okay, we've got a T67. He's making a quick dash across the north end. I think he's going to come around that corner. We've got a Stug 3G nearby. That shot missed. The T67 stopped because he's seen the Stug and he doesn't want to get hit. He has been hit and he's pulling back as fast as he can behind the rock. He's been hit twice. Now ProvoBob can kill him with a splash, and he does. That's good. T50 gone down into the valley. It's being seen by our M10 RBFM and taken out. So now there's 3 versus 5. We've lost a lot of tanks. He fires another snapshot in where that Panzer III-4 was seen. Our M10's making his way up towards the enemy cap area. If that 3-4 is there and the T1 Heavy, then he might get a nasty reception. There's the enemy M10 RBFM. And the enemy Arty is coming to sight. He's leaving the 3-4, who's going after our VK3601H. We're going for the M44. The M44 kills our M10. Oh, and a big hit on the M44 for 228. But it's not enough to kill him because he's 280 hit points. So that is badly wounded, but not enough. And the Panzer III-4 goes in behind that rock. ProvoBob's trying to line a shot up, but he's got the position to shoot down on our VK, and we can't get a shot in on him there. Our VK kills the M10 RBFM and the enemy team, but it's now 2 versus 4, so we're outnumbered 2-1. Oh no, we just lost our heavy, and now ProvoBob's all on his own against 4 enemy tanks. Oh dear. And the M10 RBFM just says sigh. Yeah, I know, he thinks the battle's all over. But ProvoBob is a member of What Arty Noobs, and he doesn't give up easily. And he's not going to give in on this occasion either. And he's trying to be careful to avoid to do damage, but he would have given away his position with that shot, but he's on the move, so I think we can forgive that. Because if the enemy was aiming at the building or looking for any sign of where he was, that might have given them a clue. Well, he's decided to go around the northwest corridor, and that might actually be a good idea because I don't think many tanks will actually choose to go up this way because it's such a long route. So by doing this, he might actually be helping him by avoiding any tank that goes directly across the valley. And I have a sneaking suspicion that the T1 Heavy and the Panzer III-4 will make their way across the valley. Although I suspect that the enemy Arty might still be near their cap, defending it. So, well, we'll have to see if ProvoBob's up for shotgunning the enemy at close range. He's trying to use all cover that he can. You don't want to go into the valley because the enemy tanks might still be in there. And if he does go into the valley, he gets spotted. He's got very short view range, only about 225 meters, I think it is. Whereas those other tanks, they've got a much longer view range, so they'd see him before he sees them. And he's trying to mask his approach to the enemy cap, using all the cover he can. And he hasn't been seen yet, well, his sixth sense hasn't gone off. And he's stopped by this fallen tree to use it as cover. The house gives him cover from a different direction. He's trying to work out where the enemy might be. Could be over in that corner. We know that the M44 was seen in that corner. We don't know whether the Griller was seen. And somebody's capping! Well, ProvoBob's going to have to pull back from where he is because he's got a red line at the moment. The building he's right next to is right blocking his field of fire. Now, if I was to guess where the enemy tank will be, is they would be expecting him to come back via the northwest route. So they'd probably be sitting right next door to those buildings for cover. And there's a bush there. You notice that bush? If you can sit behind that bush, then you might get spotting on the enemy before, as they approach the cap from that direction, from the northwest direction. I'd aim just a bit further over. He's destroyed the structure. He's now trying to look for another spot to hit. No reset so far. And another shot missed. Go over that side. I think that's probably... He's not going to be coming across the valley. Logically, the place that they would hide would be just there, just behind that bush. Rounds out. Oh, he got him! He got him! He was there! I was right! He was there! He was hiding behind the bush. That's the place I would go because it's the most logical place. You're in cover. You can see through the bush. And he's taken him out. And, oh, whilst he was firing into the cap, one of the enemy tanks, the Panzer III-4, crashed and died. And I think ProvoBob's going to go into the cap himself. He now knows it's the T1 Heavy and the Arty, the ones who crossed the to the other side. And if they've crossed the valley, that means if they come back across the same way, then he might be able to cap out before they can get there because they've got to climb that whole steep side of the valley. And the T1 Heavy is a very slow tank. And, well, the other enemy is the Griller. And he's also a very slow Arty. He's based on a Hetzer hull. And, well, ProvoBob's aiming to the heights just in case the enemy's up here. He might suddenly appear over that ridgeline. He's anticipating that there was somebody there, but nobody came out whilst he was shooting at the enemy cap. So I reckon both Artys and the T1 made their way across the valley. There's the 2-minute warning. He doesn't know where to go. I'd normally sit half in, half out the cap, with part of your body inside the cap and part of it outside the cap. Well, 40 seconds to go. And there's one of the enemy shots. That's from the Griller. Now, if he's clever, he can sit on that spot. And I reckon the Griller won't fire at that spot again because he got a nil result there. So he'll fire somewhere else. ProvoBob's aiming towards where he expects the T1 Heavy to appear if he does. 12 seconds, 11, 10. Oh, this is getting tight. And that was the shot from the last shot from the Griller. He's missed, so that's it. He's done it. He's won. And he won without the enemy ever seeing him. That is funny, and his team were actually going lol. An affirmative. Yes, it really was a big lol because they won without ever seeing where he was. And yes, here's the end of battle results. It's the third class tanker for ProvoBob in the M44, but it's a better one than that just because it's the third class. Don't underestimate this one. He managed to get a Raider medal. He was undetected throughout the entire battle. They never even saw him once, so he gets the bat emblem. He also got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 12 in this one. A Defender medal for resetting the cap when he got at least 70 capture points on the cap, so 70 defense points. And he got an Invader medal because he capped out, and he was the only one to do so. Managed to get 80 capture points. Wow, and his win rate for that game was 2571, which is Unicum standard. So let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. No, unfortunately he didn't. That will go to the KV2, who managed to get 1,449 hit points of damage, but he didn't get it either for some reason. And the next highest damage was the T67 on the enemy team, the one he killed, did 1,286. And then we've got ProvoBob with 1,164, and they're the only 3 players who managed to get over 1,000 hit points in damage. When it came to kills, it was shared between the KV2 and the Gorilla on the enemy team. He got 4 kills each, and then the M44 on the enemy team also got 3 kills, but all at Sea Dog, I'm afraid, got taken out while sitting in the cap, and he went straight to the place I would have gone and sat in. ProvoBob managed to work out that that was the best place to fire at, and yes, it worked. And then we got ProvoBob with 2 kills alongside the T67 and the Stug 3G. When it came to base XP, it was the KV2 did the best with 779, and 731 went to ProvoBob, and 542 went to the M10 RBFM. ProvoBob fired 24 rounds in that game, 4 direct hits, 0 penetration, 12 splash, damage of 1,164 hit points, all of it up more than 300 meters. He damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 2, and did 546 hit points of stun assist off 10 stuns. And he got 100 capture points and 71 defense points. So he only just got the Defender medal by 1 point. He fired the round in. If he'd fired it a fraction of a second earlier, he might have missed out on that Defender medal. So he was very lucky to get that one. He also earned 33,101 credits from the battle, 12,578 from holiday ops, and his total was 45,679. After ammunition, resupply and consumables, he took away a profit of 13,559 credits for the game. Got 2 bonds, one for getting the Invader and the other one for getting the Defender, and 1,096 XP, and there was no multipliers, so that's all the experience points he took away on that occasion. I was very surprised to see that Panzer III-4 actually crashed. He must have overturned somewhere on the battlefield, and it could be that the T1 Heavy was actually trying to right him after he flipped, and was unable to do so, and that's why he died. And he died whilst ProvoBob was actually firing into the enemy cap to try and get the reset. And we were also focusing on what was going on. We missed that, well, I missed that moment when the Panzer III-4 expired. But it's a pretty good victory because it was nearly a Kolobanov. He actually was 4 against 1. And so he didn't qualify on this occasion, but it's still a very good victory because I think most people on his team actually thought that it was a loss. But of course, because ProvoBob's a What Arty Noobs member, he doesn't give up just because the odds are against him. He fights on, and in fact he goes for more hit points. And on this occasion he was very crafty. He managed to make it to the enemy cap without anyone seeing him, and I reckon he thought, well, maybe I could go in there and cap. But he was so eager to actually get that reset on the Defender, he didn't think about going into the cap at that moment. And, well, he could have actually had an earlier victory. But after getting a kill in the cap, he must have been very, very pleased with himself. And getting that Defender medal was an extra luxury out of this battle. So well done, ProvoBob. That was a really good victory. I really enjoyed that. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.